Oh, hi. Sorry, we'll get back to this in a second. I'm just stepping up my game here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, May the 23rd, and guess what? The alien invasion has arrived. I've been talking about this for a few days now, and of course I'm talking about the return of JoJo to The Bachelor. Of course, now it's The Bachelorette, and JoJo, who was the runner-up last season, is this year's Bachelorette. So of course you might be wondering, Keith, why are you referring to this lovely human being as an alien? I will explain. She is an alien because she is too pretty. She is an alien that walks amongst us. As a matter of fact, if you were to Google best looking bachelorettes, guess who's number one? JoJo. And it isn't, I don't think, just because she's a very attractive person. I think it's because she's a very likable person. When you see her interacting with people, she has the beauty, and that's all well and good, but she's so girl next door, and she's so awesome, and it's a pleasure to watch her on TV. Now, of course, a lot of times when people go from the contestant to the actual Bachelorette, there's a lot of ego that comes along with it. And if that's the case, she sure did a great job of hiding it in tonight's premiere episode, because I didn't see it. But we learned a lot about the interesting suitors who are lined up to meet her. Now, for those of you who are keeping score at home, there are 3 black guys. At least we started off with 3. And I say that because I'm always interested to see, will the lasting couple ever end up being an interracial couple? Of course, it's early to tell, and by the time this week's episode was finished, there were 2 left. So we'll see. What did we learn tonight? Well, we learned that Aaron Rodgers has a younger brother named Jordan, who got the first impression rose, who apparently made a pretty good impression on her because he had the big kiss of the night. Now, he wasn't the only person who had the kiss. There was a guy who came out and was playing with this little doohickey, and he got a kiss of his own. Of course, as soon as she kissed him, she regretted it quickly. She's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Well, if this season's previews are any indication, they should be sponsored by Chapstick, because she's going to be doing a whole lot of kissing coming up. What else did we learn tonight? She seems to like the men with the beards. Yep, it seems like if you had a beard, there was a pretty good chance you were going to get a rose. Even the guy who came dressed up as Santa Claus got a rose, so that was pretty cool. We also learned tonight that being Canadian is a profession. Yes, it's true. Weird guy by the name of Daniel, you might remember him. He was the guy who was running around naked or half naked, I should say, for most of the episode. And under his name for the description, you know, some people are architects, some people are Marines. Nope. He's Canadian, so apparently that's a job. Then again, so is hipster. I don't necessarily know which one of those pays more. I don't know if it's Canadian, not what the way our dollar is, but I thought it was interesting. Probably one of the more shocking twists was that now people in the States, our good neighbors to the south, think that all Canadians are walking up to people and poking their belly button. Not the case. This is a Daniel thing. It's not a Canadian thing. So please don't put that all on us. But what was even more shocking, other than this belly button nonsense, is that he got a rose. So the guy who goes there, gets completely drunk, makes a fool of himself, ends up getting a rose from JoJo, which led me to one realization. I had a chance. So I'm looking at this show and I'm shaking my head and I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be a super entertaining season. There were a couple of other guys that stood out. Like, how about Vinny? Can we do a background check on him and see if he's a psychopath? Did you see him when he was waiting in the line to see if he was going to get a rose? He was looking at her like he wanted to dismember her. It was very creepy. And then he gets the rose, then all of a sudden he's happy again. You don't trust guys who look psycho. And how many guys were getting totally liquored up? People were talking about how these guys are really nervous, and I understand it. Again, very, very striking woman. But you got to get over that and realize that, you know what, you're there for a reason, other than fame, I think. You're there because you want to find love, and that's all well and good. But talk to her, get to know her. People are going up and like, oh my God, oh, you're gorgeous. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. And it's like, she's like, okay, thanks, okay, tell me about you. Oh, I don't know what to say, you're too beautiful. This is water, by the way. And I'm just like, can anybody talk to JoJo? Which is why I think a couple of these guys who stood out, it wasn't that they were necessarily fantastic, over-the-top, wonderful men. I think it's just that they were able to have a conversation. So I think if I bumped into JoJo in the mall, I could understand, I might be a little tongue-tied. Probably not, but perhaps. But if you know months in advance that you're going on a show to meet her, you think you might be able to process that in time so you can actually have a valid conversation with her. I'm just saying. And how about the guy who brought All for One? Remember that group, I Swear? How about that guy who brought that group with him? I mean, that's pretty cool, but what is he gonna do? Like, have him come and slow jam every single date? They only got like the one song. If I was to say to somebody, I will give you $50 if you can name 5 All for One songs, I'm keeping $50 in my pocket. No offense to All for One, they had a couple of good songs, but I mean, they were here and gone pretty quick. Again, all in all, pretty entertaining show. And lastly, Grant, one of the brothers that was on the show. So he gets out of the limo, and the first thing that he says to her is, I'm not going to do what Ben did to you. What? I'm not going to do what Ben did to you? Ladies, I'm not an expert on these things, but I'm thinking that, you know, when you first meet somebody, the thing that you don't want to hear is, I'm not going to break your heart like your last boyfriend did. How about we don't put that back in our mind and you just kind of focus on, hey, I'm really looking forward to meeting you, getting to know you, and I think this is going to be a great experience, as opposed to, yeah, I saw what Ben did to you, it was terrible, I'm not going to do that. Well, thanks for bringing that up, guy who's definitely not going to be around by week 5. Anyways, very entertaining season. Let me know what your thoughts were. I would love to know. The alien invasion has arrived, and if you want to see an alien on television every Monday for the next few weeks, you got your chance, because JoJo's the Bachelorette, and again, I call her an alien as a compliment because I think she's very lovely, and I'm very excited to see what happens this season. Reach out to me and let me know what you think. Do you have any early picks on who you think is going to end up winning it all? CFL_fan on Twitter, Facebook.com/WittyWhittier, and WittyWhittier.com. Thank you so much for checking this out, and we'll see you next Monday. Take care.